Well, the Stanley Cup Finals continue tomorrow here on NBC 7. Washington leads Vegas 2-1. Todd Strain and former San Diego Gull Jordan Samuels-Thomas have more on what we can expect in Game 4.
Playoff puck rarely disappoints. These Stanley Cup Finals, Jordan, have been exciting. They are playoff puck. They're up and down, high drama. What are your impressions 3 games in?
I mean, you touched on it. It's been up and down. Every team has had a chance with the lead, and you even saw it in Game 1. Nerves were flying. It's a new situation for both teams. Vegas is an expansion team, and Washington hasn't won the Cup since it joined the league as an expansion team in 1974, so it's a new platform for both teams.
When we get to postseason in any sport, it's often determined by the stars. Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin. In the past, he's come up short in the playoffs. Not the case this year.
Yeah, he's been huge, and you know, Game 1 was shaky for him, and he even touched on it. He humbly admitted that he was suffering from nerves. Since that, in Game 2 and Game 3, he's contributed 2 goals, his playoff leading 14, and he's just been unbelievable. But it's been his play away from the puck that's been amazing. He's been criticized about effort away from the puck and defensive liability. None of that this series, and I think that's why he's been the pulse of the team.
In playoff hockey, goaltenders can make or break you. Capitals, Brandon Holtby, he's making them, isn't he? Talk about that Game 2 save. I mean, that's one of the all-timers, right?
Yeah. So if Washington holds on to this series lead, that save is going to be the defining moment of the series. I mean, I remember watching the play, Shea Theodore, he just chipped the puck in. A harmless play in most counts, but this time it goes across the crease right on Eakin's stick, who puts it backdoor to Tuck, and he sprawls back across the crease and makes a series-saving save. And I believe if he doesn't make that save, Vegas wins that game. They're up 2, and we're talking about a completely different series.
I think that's a very, very valid point. You brought up Shea Theodore, one of your former teammates here in San Diego with the Gulls. How cool is it to see one of the guys you used to skate with on San Diego ice on the Stanley Cup final ice?
Yeah, it's awesome to watch. I mean, first and foremost, Shea's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a first-round pick, but he's extremely humble. He's a great guy. So I love seeing guys like that have success. And I mean, his impact was felt Game 1. He made some good plays that led to goals. He scored a goal himself. He's a huge impact player, and he's emerged as a #1 defenseman as opposed to last year. He's kind of the 7th or 6th guy. He found himself on the outside for the expansion draft, ends up in Vegas, making a huge impact.
We're talking a lot of hockey, a lot of puck on ice stuff, but everyone is talking about off the ice.
Yeah.
What goes on pregame in Vegas, the whole circus, the whole show. As a hockey player, do you like what goes on, or are you kind of like, it's a little too much?
So as a hockey player, I would say that it's a bit much. I don't think I want to sit around for 6 minutes in a tunnel and see all that stuff. But as a fan, it's amazing. And I think the pregame stuff that they're doing has only expanded the game, people's interest in the game, and certainly probably helped with viewership. And I think it's something that's rare that you just don't see across the 4 major sports. I mean, you can tune into the station and you can see full coverage of the pregame, uninterrupted, with all the pageantry, and give Vegas Golden Knights the organization credit because they're in Las Vegas and they understand that there's a pageantry that goes along with it. People come to Vegas for a show and casinos, and they're putting on a show before every game.
So you can see the hockey and all the pregame festivities, of course, on NBC 7. Real quick, it's 2-1 Caps now. I think the team that has won Game 3 when the series is tied 1-1 wins the series 78% of the time. Jordan, give me your pick moving forward. What's going to happen? Who's going to win the Stanley Cup?
You know, I still like Vegas. I think that they now don't have any pressure on them. I think Washington's up. They have their next game coming up at home. But Vegas was my pick going into the series. I thought they'd win in 6, and that coupled with home ice advantage. And they've been playing with house money all season, and I think it's no difference than now. Washington has that pressure now that they're leading it. They have Ovechkin and what it means for his legacy. I think Vegas will crawl back into the series.
There you go. Book it. Take your cash to Vegas. Put it down. Jordan Samuels-Thomas, thanks for coming in and talking all things hockey. Appreciate. Game 4 on NBC this coming Monday. That's a wrap. Back to you, Laz.